Can I get a medium hot, skim milk only?
Okay.
That's it.
Coming down.
You don't think I managed to do all this without drinking coffee, did you? No. So, if you've been listening to the show for the past few episodes, you may have noticed that we have a bit of a location change. This is not not my home office. We're going to do our first episode of New England Spahten's TV, Spahtens.tv, on site. So I am currently driving down towards West Boylston. It's about a 30-minute drive from my house. And in West Boylston, I'm going to visit a new obstacle course racing or obstacle course training venue. We're going to go and see Ultimate Obstacles in West Boylston. Now, for a lot of you who are new to the New England Spahten, you may not know the name Eric Matta. Eric is a long-time member of the New England Spahten. He's been around since the beginning, since day dot. He was in the very first Hurricane Heat that was effectively the genesis or the birth of the New England Spahten, Hurricane Heat number 12. And Eric has also hosted what I believe was our very first team social in his backyard, along with Andrew Hostetler, who is another name that the long-timers will know. He's also a very accomplished endurance athlete. So Eric has competed in and finished at least a couple of death races, at least. One of those death races, I believe it was 2013, we had quite a lot of New England Spahten members at that death race. And it was a time when the death race was, I don't want to say not quite as trendy as it became, or not quite as popular as it became, but it was while the death race was still a bit of a mystery to everybody. And I can vividly remember spending myself and Vince Reed,
the destination is on your right.
Use my GPS, an entire evening through till almost overnight, sitting at home with my phone, my laptop, keeping track of the updates coming out of Pittsfield, Vermont. As anyone who's been out there knows, information coming from the death race was absolutely horrendous. It was so difficult to get that every time we got a text, or we saw an update to a group, or we saw a post to Facebook of who was in, who was out, what they were doing next, where they were going, it was unbelievable. That one night, it was one of those kind of magical moments where we were up, we were tracking, and people were staying up, people were asking after their friends, and then they got to a point where people were asking after the other death racers, people they'd never met, and Eric was in that group. Eric was one of the finishers of that year. I believe it was the year of the Gambler. He's done an awful lot, and most recently, and this is the reason for this drive down to West Boylston, he has traded his day job for ownership or part ownership of an obstacle course training facility called Ultimate Obstacles. They're still building, so I thought this was a really good chance to come down, see where they're at, take some photos, some video, have a conversation with him, find out what he's up to, find out what he's accomplished, and come back in 6 months, a year, check the facility out again, see what he's changed, what's grown. And yeah, I'm this show, the whole Spahtens.tv show, I really want it to become an organic thing. I want to always try and meet the people I'm talking to, even if I have to do it over Skype. I know not everyone's going to be able to come to me, and I can't go to everyone. But the reason we have the New England focus is so that we can hop in the car, put my camera on a mount in the windshield, take a drive, and go and visit these people, go and hang out with these different personalities, these characters, these business owners, race directors, facility owners, and hear it from them. So this is quite a place. This is pretty awesome.
Big space
Yeah.
to play with.
Yeah. So we're sitting down with Eric Matta. Eric is a long-time New England Spahten, and he's opening his own place in West Boylston. And this is the first time we're doing a show on the road, so I hope the audio's good and everything. But this is awesome. So what I want to do is we want to start out talking a bit about who you are. I mean, obviously, you've been with the New England Spartans forever, but a lot of new people may not know you because you've been a little busy building
Absolutely.
this stuff. So how do you get into obstacle course racing, and why are you here? So what's
Why
your
am I
story?
here?
How are you here, Eric?
So jump into it?
Yeah.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So so I got into the obstacle race
World, scene,
whatever you want to call it, lifestyle, very
Yeah.
much a lifestyle. Back in 2011,
Yeah.
first race over at Amesbury. And like a lot of people, caught the bug right away. I remember doing the first race, and I was with a group of about 5 people. And I finished the race, I was like, I want to do it again. You guys want to come with me? They're like, no, I just want to drink my free beer, you know?
I want to go home.
So
That's
right
something I
away-
say to everyone: is you do one race, then you take somebody else to the next one, and
Yeah.
after about 4 or 5 races, you need new friends because no one else will come with you.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how you end up in like the Spartans or your own groups.
the big groups, yeah. So I was hooked right away. The next year, I got into traveling, went out to Indiana. I went down to North Carolina, of course.
You
local
did the
ones.
first Founders race in Indiana, right?
Indiana, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So I remember doing the big push with the Indiana guys, and it was awesome driving out there, support them, kind of grow
Yeah.
the sport and everything. So just kind of doing race after race, multiple laps right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Before it was taboo.
I vividly remember doing a hurricane heat, doing a team wave, and then sometime in the afternoon I was on the hill at Amesbury, and you and Andrew came past wearing weight vests on like lap 5.
Yeah.
And this was before anybody cared if you just hopped back in.
Exactly,
But yeah,
yeah.
you were doing like 5 or 6 laps with weight
Yeah,
vests
that-
on.
that weekend
and you
we
were in the
got through.
hurricane heat. That
Yes.
was it 12 or 11 hurricane heat with Tommy Mack and Todd Sedlak.
Yep.
Remember that?
Oh yeah. With the eggs. I remember
Yeah, the eggs. Yeah.
Egg thrown at one point. So yeah, I mean, actually that weekend I think we got in 6 official laps.
Yeah.
And we were Ultra Beast training at that point, so it was
Yeah.
fun, a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean that's what ended up happening. I started doing a lot of these races, and then it was okay. So what's next?
Yeah.
Of course, sprint, super, beast, ultra beast. So, we trained and we ended up doing the ultra beast the first year that they did it. And it was that really long course.
So I was staying in your house that year.
Yes.
And I was staying with one of my gym buddies who'd never really got into OCR before. And we were in this house with all the Ultra Beasters.
Yeah.
And I remember her saying, these guys are crazy. And because you did the Beast on Saturday and you were doing the Ultra on Sunday.
Actually,
right?
that year it was flipped around. The first
Okay.
year they did the ultra beast on Saturday.
That's right.
So we went out there and we did the team ultra beast. It was me, Andrew, and Kevin. Which that's how I love. You get the long time friends out of this,
Yeah.
right? But so it was the 3 of us doing the ultra beast on Saturday. Andrew and I the next day were like, well, we're kind of feeling crazy, so let's go out and do another beast today.
So I vividly remember that night after you did the Ultra, Andrew lunging around the coffee table and up and
Yeah.
down the hallway all night because he didn't want to seize up because he decided he was doing the Beast the next day.
Yeah.
And when he showed up at the Beast start line on the Sunday, he wore a Tough Mudder headband.
Yeah.
And whoever the MC was that day put a bounty on him and said, I'll buy you anything you want from the merch tent if
Yeah.
you take his headband off him. And no one did.
No, yeah, he got chased. He got
Yeah,
chased
I
a
bet
lot,
he
but
did.
no one got it. Yeah, so
And that was the year you became Team Rollover
Yep.
because you
Kevin
showed up at the Ultra Beast and rolled your
Nothing-
Kevin's car.
Yeah, nothing like
Yeah.
starting a big race that's a little intimidating by rolling your car in the parking lot
Yeah.
literally like 10 minutes before the start of it. We're like,
And did
we
that
gotta
screw
go.
with your head at all? Like, because that was your first long race, right?
Yes.
How-
Did it screw? I mean, at that point, you're already in the crazy element. You know what I mean? You're already like, it doesn't even really make
That's fair.
sense. 26 miles. And we had to carry, so we were doing the team event, so we had to
Yeah.
carry additional 30-pound pill with us,
Oh,
too.
God.
So it was doing the Ultra Beast with a 30-pound, and, you got to move it around the teammates,
Yeah.
so we got to share that weight, not split it, but, pass it around, who had to carry it. But, so it was already crazy what we were doing.
Yeah. Okay, so just another bit of crazy.
It's just another bit of crazy.
Okay,
and,
fair enough.
And so that was that level of crazy. And by that time, me and Andrew had already decided to do the death race the following year.
Yeah.
So again, the crazy progression just goes from doing sprints to what else can we do? And I've done some 2-day adventure races before, but those are planned.
Yeah.
You know, you have to figure out where you're going, but it's still sanity around it. There's still checkpoints. There's still people watching out for you. We had decided the year before, it would have been 2012, to do the 2013 death race. And so we signed up together. Again, Andrew, great friend of mine. We trained together and we got ready for it. And then we ended up being finishers that year, which was an awesome experience.
And that was the year of the Gambler, right?
That was the first one. Was Year of the Gambler. Yes, 2013.
Okay. I was there.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, you were there. I got some great pictures from that. Thank you, Paul.
Oh yeah, that's right. When you're doing the horrible thing, we had to crawl down the culvert under the barbed wire with your gear, and randomly draw a card and play against the house at the top. Yeah, I remember that.
And what's funny is those pictures kind of depict my attitude of those ultra events. I mean, there's only a few of us that are smiling through this stuff.
Yes.
I mean, because it's ridiculous.
I have photos of accomplished endurance athletes crying at that point.
Yeah.
And you and Andrew had big shit-eating grins on your face. And I wasn't there when you finished, but my understanding is you finished with big shit-eating grins on your face.
We did. And that's one way to get through it, right? Everyone deals with challenges differently. And don't get me wrong, there was a point at that race I wanted to break, and which is why I enjoyed it so much. I think, were you at the lake? I know Sandy was at the lake.
I was not at the lake.
She was helping me, too. You know, the lake, it was a 3-mile swim.
Yeah.
You're a day and a half into it. We just ran 30 miles through the night in the thunderstorm, and then we had to go swim, and that's when I wanted to break.
Yeah.
And, you know, Sandy was there, and, me and Andrew were doing it together. And
unrelated, but I think Sandy's Mama Hen has been mentioned on every single podcast so far.
She's awesome.
I just realized that.
She's part of everything. We have to get her on here.
We will.
She's got to be soon. So yeah, I remember just not, my body was just like...
And then you had to spin a wheel, and it told you whether you went on or got back in the water again?
So what it was is, you had to do 2 miles. So they're 1 mile loops. So you do the 1 mile loop, and then you do the 2nd mile loop, and then you spun the wheel, and it was literally a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to do another mile. No, you don't have to do another mile. It's a 50-50 shot. So I do the 1st mile loop, and again, now it's still drizzling. It's, we're a day and a half into it, completely exhausted. Actually, that was it was already 2 nights that we went through. So 2.5 days into it, my body saying no. Don't go back into that lake. My last mile.
You don't have a lot of body fat to keep warm.
I don't have much of that yet.
No.
So I'm shaking the whole time, and so my body's like, no, I guess you're done. You can't go back into that water. It's freezing. You're just gonna fall like a lead rock out there. So sure enough, I had to just turn off my thinking brain and be like, I guess I'm going back in the water. And I swam for another one. I finished the 2nd lap, and again, I just want to. I'm almost at that point, right? But I don't say it out loud, because then you start believing if you say it out loud. So it's going in my head. I spin the wheel, and sure enough, I don't have to do it. I'm excited. The volunteer, I'm hugging, I'm crying with her. You know what I mean? And Andrew just so happened he spun. He didn't have to do a 3rd, mile and everything. So it was a great experience. And so that's where I ended up pushing myself up towards was the death race. And then later on that year, I did the team death race, and it was great. It was with Noah, Nayla, and Andrew. Yeah. So, that was just an awesome team right there.
I remember passing Noah and Nayla in the middle of the woods, and Nayla had rolled her ankle really badly, and the crew were trying to get her down off the mountain. Those things are brutal.
They're brutal. They're the endurance events that make little sense, because you don't know what you're doing, you don't know for how long,
and you don't get a nice big prize purse at the end.
Nothing like that.
Maybe you get a T-shirt.
Not even a T-shirt. You get that plastic skull, and they just sit and collect dust. But no, the whole experience, it's what those crazy events are about.
And it's pushed you onto other things. We're sitting in this facility, and you've done some American Ninja Warrior stuff as well. Mm-hmm. Like after endurance, it's almost like the opposite of endurance. Yes. You go for 3-4 days, and then you come to American Ninja Warrior where you have to be athletic for 30 seconds.
It's a minute and a half.
Yeah, a minute and a half. Okay. Yeah. So tell me about your Ninja Warrior experience.
Yep.
What have you done?
So for that, I've actually only done the local events.
Yep.
So I've done a couple local events. They're a lot of fun, but they are not the endurance stuff. So it's more play at that point. You're swinging, you're climbing. If you have some sort of grip strength, an upper body, you do okay with it. But it's just a lot of fun, and that's where the parallels start happening with the American Ninja Warrior and the OCR stuff. It's fun training.
And my understanding of the Ninja Warrior world is that you have that same sense of community. You meet
Yes.
the same people at the same events, the same gyms, the same training facilities.
Exactly.
And you get that same tight-knit group.
Yeah, you do. And and just like in the races where they're pushing you on the race course and everything, they're pushing each other at the challenges.
Okay.
They're all hanging out the bottom warp wall. They're giving each other, tips and everything. We're just hanging out like, oh, how are you doing it? Where are
Yeah.
you jumping off the wall? And, stuff like that. So it is a very supportive crowd.
Yeah.
And the parallels are just great. Their obstacles get over, through, under,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So there is that minus the running aspect
Yeah.
of it.
So what do you think of the crossover? I mean, there's obviously the community side, but from the athletics side, I see a lot of people in NES who are doing American Ninja Warrior stuff. I see, if you look at Spartan and the kind of relationship they're now developing with some of their pros, and going on and doing Team American Ninja Warrior, the TV show.
Yep.
What do you think? I mean, is it just purely the obstacles, the fitness, or is it camaraderie? Why is there such a synergy? Why is there such a an alignment there?
I think they're both obstacle races, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a different format, right? You have big waves of people going out for all the obstacle course races, the Spahtens, the Tough Mudders. But then for those, it's individualized, but still timed obstacle.
Yeah, you're still ranked.
Yeah, exactly. You're still ranked. You're still timed. It's still a course to get through. So that's where the parallels are. But I think it's also just the kind of people want something more interesting to do.
Yeah.
They want it to be fun. They want it to be interesting. They want to be challenged.
Yeah.
And they both do that.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're both shifting towards.
Do you see them long term being a lot closer together? Do you see companies, because there's been a lot of talk of doing short course OCR.
Yep.
Is that what American Ninja Warrior is? Is there a world for short course OCR, or is that filled with American Ninja Warrior? Or Ninja Warrior, I should say, because American Ninja Warrior is a brand.
Yeah.
But it's not the only brand.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think we're definitely seeing the blending happen too. A lot of the races are putting the rigs in.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of stuff like that, and there's a lot of the stuff that's somewhat mimicking, what you've seen on the show as far as the grip things, the hanging. So you're seeing that parallel. I think there is a place for it, the short course, for sure, because there's people that don't like to run. Again, that don't sign up for a beast because there's mileage in it. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of miles to run.
And I know there's been a lot of talk on what's the right format, or is the right format to have multiple formats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That it starts getting a lot more complicated. But for sure, there are going to be people that's a lot better at short course than that's better at a beast. I mean, they're just, they're day and night. I think there's room for both, and I think it does make sense to start offering, the different levels. And I think there will be a lot of people interested in putting together the short course ones as a competitive level.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Before we talk about the what you're doing here, you've done really well with everything from stadium races, short course distance OCRs. I mean, you've podiumed at City Field, right?
No, podiumed Amesbury, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yep, podiumed Amesbury. Okay. I pulled fifth at City.
Okay. Only fifth. But you've also done really well through to the long endurance, the death race, the ultra beast, even just beast level stuff, right? So how do you do everything in OCR? Because I mean, that's not to say you're the best stadium sprint or you're the best ultra distance, but to do solid performances at both ends.
I have problems with picking what I want. Honestly, I
just can't choose.
I haven't even picked what I want to focus on this year. Not that I have to, but you kind of want to have a goal.
Well, you're going to be a bit busy this year, I hope.
Yeah. I want to have, there's also a strategy to training, right?
Yeah.
There's a method to it. So you kind of have to pick in some sort of fashion. And honestly, for this year, I haven't picked which direction I want to go. Do I want to go longer distances, or do I want to focus on short distance, try to podium? It's tough to pick when there's so many things out there.
So do you train specifically for each different one? Could you go from an ultra beast 1 month to a sprint, podium sprint, a month, 6 weeks later? Or do you have to train long term for each different style?
So the good thing is when you're training for the longer distance ones, by default, you're in good shape for the shorter distances, right? You're in good shape. I'm not saying it's going to be breeze to do sprints because then there's more track work you need to do, and there's more stuff like that. But that's a good thing. Once you're doing long distance training, everything else underneath that, you're at least in shape for. There's some more fine tuning that you'll want to do. And again, I did podium, and I'm very excited about that. And trust me, is it fun, cool? Great.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to do that on a regular basis. You know, I mean, I'm more the team guy. I like doing the team runs and everything.
Well, you always have. I mean, I'll say in the intro, but I mean, you held the first social for the team in your backyard when the team was a lot smaller and a lot more intimate, and could fit in the backyard. You know, so you've been around from the beginning when you saw teams and communities grow. I mean, So to that effect, I don't necessarily even want to put the time to train towards that because you know to podium that takes some dedicated work, and you know that's I give the credit to the guys that are putting the time in and whatnot. Most people that know me know I have a family at home, and you know my young ones and my loved one, and I can only commit so much time to it. You know, so no, really, I don't know anything about that.
So how do I fit it all in? I tend to plan a couple long, you know, endurance events, and then the other stuff just kind of falls where it falls.
Got it.
You know,
you should go for the Race Local Century Club.
Well, I'm going to kick
it 100 miles on local OCRs.
I'm going to kick it off with 60K at Frigis.
There we go.
Yep.
Wonderful.
So because I saw that, and I said, well, this is an easy way to start.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad Andy has his events because it's an easy way to get the mileage in if you're looking for it.
We'll see.
So no, absolutely, and ultimately, I like being out there. Yeah. And you know, I was just chatting with Andrew yesterday, and you know, just to get lost in your miles, it's just a great time. It's therapeutic. Yeah. You know, I mean, you're just out there for a long time, and you know, and if you're pacing yourself, most people go longer than they'd imagine.
So we're sitting in a construction site.
Yes, very much so. It's hard not to trip over something.
And this isn't going to be a construction site for much longer, you hope.
We hope. We're pushing.
What are we sitting in? Where are we sitting?
So we're in West Boylston.
Yeah.
Conveniently located off the Highway 2, just a mile off the highway, which is really nice. But 12,000 square feet, OCR, Ninja Warrior, training facility. It's hard to talk about the highlights first. I mean, it's a separated kids area to adults area. So, you know, that's one of the things about the scene that's been great. We've seen families reconnecting in the sense that these adults will now start getting active again. Yep. And
they bring their kids.
Been,
and they show their kids.
And then they show their kids. And kids want to be active because they naturally just want to bounce off the walls. And that's a majority of kids.
So this year's Race Local, we're doing kids.
I saw that.
So,
So we've seen by the races, we've seen active adults now becoming active again, now having something to do with the kids, and which is wicked awesome, right? Getting the families back together and active and healthy, like that's a great thing. So this facility, it's going to have a whole kids area, their size scaled obstacles. It's going to have a whole adult area, obviously their size stuff. It's going to have the training, the fitness room, the training.
So right behind you is the fitness room, and no one can see it on camera, but I'll show some footage. But that's huge.
It's a good size.
Like I've seen fitness rooms in gyms, and that's a big fitness room.
Yeah, we're looking at about 43 by 23 is what the footprint came out to.
Okay.
And then what's really nice is that's doubling as our observation deck.
Yeah.
And you know,
again, you can't see it, but the roof line's really big.
Yeah.
You can just get right up there.
Yeah, we have 24 on the high side, and then we have 18 on the low side. So, you know, the ceilings aren't a problem. Observation deck, you're just going to be able to see the whole floor. It's going to be nice.
Fantastic.
And, you know, we're going to make it comfortable, and, you know, we want people to hang out, just kind of be here, you know, just, you know, we're not going to push you out the door.
And you have a full American Ninja Warrior spec warped wall back there.
Yes, we do.
But you also have kids' 8-foot warped walls.
8-foot,
back
we have a 10-foot.
Yeah.
You know, and we're going to do cutouts into it too. So as they're training to get to the 12 feet, you know, there'll be 11-foot gap that they can even hold on to until they can get that full 12. You know, stuff like that. Yeah, they have their own Salmon Ladder, which we've never seen, you know, a kid spec'd Salmon Ladder before.
Fantastic.
So we're excited for that.
Yeah. And your kids have already tested everything from the rolled up flooring to the salmon ladders to the walls,
to the bars, to everything. They're the best little testers we have. And
it's all going to be padded flooring.
Yep. So we have the 2-inch copper bonded flooring.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, just a good enough, you know, good amount of protection. We have crash pads for anything you're starting to go over a certain height. There will not be any water. There's been a lot of questions if there's any water to follow for obstacles. If you want water, we have to go outside with the hose. But
that's what people see on American Ninja Warrior. They watch the show and they see the big constructions.
They're curious about, are you gonna have the containers with the water? No containers. No. But you know, it's gonna be a family place, so it's gonna be fully padded. You know, between the flooring and then the additional padding. But we want families to come.
Yeah.
We want them, the kids to have their own fun over there. The adults have their own fun over there. Fitness classes going on. So, and actually kids fitness classes too. So whether or not, the kids are in classes or the adults are playing or training. And then vice versa, the adults are in classes and the kids have something to do over there. It's just going to be a great place for the whole family.
That's
to come
fantastic. And it's massive. I mean, we walked around. You've got a party room.
Yep.
Your observation deck. You've got, I've seen gyms smaller than your adult side.
Yeah.
We've got tons of space.
Yep. It's got tons of space, and we have, a lot of stuff lined up already as far as what we want to fill it with. And we already know we're going to have this corner over here, this wall over here. Oh, we could put this over here. So, we're starting
like
off
a kid
with...
in a candy store.
Exactly. So we're starting off with a really good amount of stuff. And at the same token, we just know it's going to, fill up even more.
Yeah. And they're already building a Hobie wall back there.
Yep.
So, you're going to have a ton of stuff.
Yeah. So, for the race, for the...
Yeah, so
people...
for OCR, the audience is OCR. So for OCR, what are people going to be able to expect for OCR?
Yep.
Or to get them ready for OCR?
Yep. So, people are always working on getting over the walls, as far as, learn that. So we're going to have 4, 6, 8 foot walls. And then...
rope climbs?
Rope climbs, yep.
Yeah.
We're going to have rope climbs. We're going to have traverse wall things, to practice for that. We're going to have classes. So I am Sparring SGX certified. Yep. We already have our next coach lined up, as far as the sparring classes go. And, sparring classes, it's a name given to it.
It's technique mostly, right?
Exactly, and what's nice is they give you the freedom to program your own. You don't have to do theirs.
Okay.
So, as long as you have a good coach, someone knowledgeable, you got good classes. And, it's to help you to just kind of be, ready for, the races, to be able to climb, crawl.
I heard you saying you're going to offer things like yoga in the fitness room as well, which, I don't do yoga, but it's, for someone serious about race, you need to be flexible.
You need to be flexible. You just need to loosen up. And, it's a great balance. It's, so between the yoga, we're going to do other just half-hour just conditioning classes.
Yeah.
So where I came from before, it was at Jagiro's Gymnastics, and there was a lot of parents there. So not so much athletes per se, just parents that want to do something to keep active. And
so actually, that's a good point to make sure people know is you're coming into this with a trainer background.
Yes.
Right? You've left your day job, but you were also doing fitness. Right? Boom. But you were doing a ton of fitness training. You were in martial arts, I believe.
Yes. Yep.
So what have you done before from a training perspective that sets you up for this?
Yep. So I've been doing the group fitness classes now for a little bit more than 4 years.
Okay.
But even prior to that, I've been doing martial arts since the age of 7.
Yeah.
I've been teaching since the age of 13.
Oh, good God.
Still with the same school that I grew up with.
Wow.
And we still have our school in Leicester. And so I've had that teaching background.
Okay.
And it's just something I've always loved to do.
Yep.
And more specifically with kids. And, I like the adults too.
Yeah.
But, just kids have that energy.
You like these adults because they pay.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids don't pay.
That's why we keep them coming.
Yeah.
So I went from just teaching martial arts to start teaching group fitness, and then I got to the races. So then I got certified. So I got ACE certified, and then I eventually got the SGX certification. I also I went through the TRX too. I think that's a great tool. So I like to use the suspension trainers. And
will you be putting some of those in?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep. Oh yeah, we'll have a center bar going right through the fitness room.
Oh wow.
To hold a good amount of them in there.
Yeah.
As far as my training background, so I was doing the SGX classes over at Jagiro's. I was actually running the adult fitness program over there. But like I was mentioning before, we had mom and dads just trying to look to stay active. So, same thing here. We're going to have the half-hour class. It's more like an intro to fitness class, right? It could be as intense as you want it, but it's going to be, where people want to start.
Lower impact.
Exactly. Lower impact stuff, much more manageable. And then, we'll have the TRX and the hybrid classes, 45 minutes, and then the SGX, hour long. Not that we want to scare anyone away from an hour-long class, but there will be different levels of how crazy you want to get in your fitness classes.
And one of the really cool things you told me earlier on, you're modeling your membership here on climbing gyms. So it's an open model, right?
Yes.
So even though you're having classes, you can walk in.
Yeah.
So if someone had a membership here, they could just walk in and start playing, right?
They'd walk in and start playing, yep.
See, I think that's huge.
It is huge, and even the gyms I've checked out around here to just go and like do some practicing on, they had their hour, 2-hour time slot for open gym. And so if it works for you, it doesn't work for you. And then guess what? You're done at that time and sorry, they're closing. We want the freedom of that. I mean, that requires us to have a little bit more staff floating around, just kind of making sure, the kids aren't poking each other in the eye. Yeah. And, the adults are, behaving
not
themselves
poking each
too.
other in the eye.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Big kids, basically. But, it's something we really want to offer. Yeah. And it's doable. It absolutely is doable. Excuse me, with a little more planning. But it's going to be open gym format. And to add to that, they're going to be able to play on the obstacles whenever they want. Yeah. We're going to have fitness classes going on, but there's no fitness classes going on. It's not going to stop you. That means you can grab the kettlebells, the dumbbells, you can grab the rec bags, you can do your own training. You know what I mean? So it's not you could only play on the obstacle area. If the equipment's not being used, go to town.
That's fantastic.
Have some fun. So that's a lot of freedom. Yeah. And, getting back to the families again, sports, my boys are doing basketball. It's very organized and it has to be. And there's, your days of practice and your time slots. So you have to be there at this time and you have to be there at this time. And this is going on at this time. And don't get me wrong, life has to be structured at certain points. But when you have the flexibility, hey, we have an extra hour and a half. We could shoot down to the gym. It's going to be really nice to give people that freedom.
And very selfishly, I didn't realize how close you are to where I live.
Very close.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So the big question is, which you can't answer yet, is when are you opening?
What was the question?
So
So that is a famous question, and I'm almost scared when some of the social media posts go up there because no matter what the post is about, you get the question. So what are you guys opening? And don't get me wrong, we're just as excited and wanted to.
If you could decide, you would have been open November, October?
Months ago. Yeah, months ago.
But you got permitting and building. I mean, I've been watching people build today. There's a lot of work going on.
Oh yeah, electrician was in here yesterday, and they're working on the vestibule today, and there is a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. There's great activity, but unfortunately, there's a lot of activity still needs to go on. We're pushing to have the doors open in some capacity, 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah. Whether or not that's the soft open or the grand opening. Yeah. But that's what we're hoping February to be able to do something to let people in here.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's exciting stuff.
Very exciting.
So if people want to learn more about this place,
so
where should they go?
They should go. We have our websites fired up. So ultimateobstacles.com. Yeah. We're on Facebook. Yeah. Search Ultimate Obstacles. We're on Instagram and Twitter, and both of those handles are Obstacles. Okay. So that's where you can find us on the social media. Yeah.
Did I miss anything that you want to make sure people know about?
No, thank you for coming down here. Awesome. This was awesome. I totally enjoyed it.
Fantastic.
And we're excited. And trust me, we're excited to open up and have everyone down.
I can't wait. I really can't wait because it's so close to me.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Eric.
We'll have you down, Paul. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Spahtens.tv. Subscribe to us on YouTube or in iTunes, and you can find more content online at www.Spahtens.tv. We love hearing your feedback, so let us know how we're doing with a comment, a like, or a rating.